Dear friends, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can add array of objects inside the custom component. Just for an example, let me take grout tubes. Once I select the panel, you can see the grout tubes added to this panel, and we can change the number of quantities, and we can also use different creation method. It adds the number of objects because we are using array inside the custom component. Let me show you how to do it for the custom component. I'm selecting this custom component, right click and edit custom component. First, we are going to add number of objects. Let me take panel front view and change the representation to Control 2 so that you can also see the ferrules. Search for number 29. This is the array of objects. Double click and open. Number of copies and spacing values, you can see it. Apply and OK. First, it will ask you to pick the objects. Select the plate and select these two bolts, and then pick the ferrules and press the middle mouse and then pick the first point and second point along the panel height. Now you can see the number of objects. Now we are going to set some conditions to control the number of objects. Click display variables. It will open this window. I have already created a few variables, but for the array of objects, I'm going to start from the beginning. Click add to create a new variable, and the name should be Q. My understanding Q, which means quantity. Number of quantities 5, and change the value type to number, and the label name is quantity. Next variable is ph, which means panel height. To read the panel height, what we have to do is open the component browser, select the panel. It will automatically highlight here and go to Part, Profile Properties and select the height, right click, copy reference. Then come back to the variables, type equal sign and paste the value here. And this is supposed to be length. Now you can see it is reading the length of the selected panel. So the advantage of using the copy reference, when you use this custom component to the panel of different height, it will read the height of the selected panel. Let me hide this. Now we need to get the remaining distance. The variable name is RD. The remaining distance, which is nothing but panel height minus twice the start distance. The start distance variable here is D13. So it's ph minus 2 times D13. This is the remaining value. Now we have to divide this by the quantity to get the distance between the objects. So let me type this as D equal to RD divided by quantity. So this is the distance. Hide these two variables. Now we have to assign these two variables to the component browser of the array of objects. Select and go to General Properties, Number of Arrays, right click, Add Equation. And this variable is Q, and distance between elements, this variable is D. Now you can see here, if I change the quantity, so this will be automatically updated. Now you can see when you type 7, it is actually creating 8. It is just because we already have 1 here and number of objects 7. So we have to tweak this formula so that when you type the number, it should create exactly the same number of objects. In that case, what I would do is, I'll just divide this one by Q minus 1. And we also have to change here. This is Q minus 1. So when I type 4, it will create only 4 of them. Or 6, you can see here. So this is for the quantity. How we can use maximum distance. Let me create a new variable and change the name as max. And this distance is 600. add a new variable. So we have to divide the remaining distance by max. So this will be Q1 RD divided by max. This is the value, but we have to get the round value of this. The round value should be greater than this value. So we are going to use the syntax ceil. Now you can see it will change this one to the nearest whole number. Create a new variable, and this will be D1. And we are going to write a formula here, RD divided by Q1. So when you type the maximum distance, what happens is that it will get the quantity and then use the quantity to divide the remaining distance to get the actual value. Let me change this one to D2. Sorry, let me change this one to DT because we already have this D1 and D2 here. Now I will hide this. We have to create another variable to choose between quantity and max. So add another variable. This name is array, and this should be the number. And next create two variables, one for the final quantity and another one for the final distance. So let me type this as QTY and this is DIST. So the formula is if array equal to 0, then this will take the Q, else it will take Q1, and end if. Let me copy this one. And here, this is for the distance. This is D, else DT. Now you can see here. Let me hide these two variables. And now we have to pass this information to the component browser. So what I would do is, I'll go here. A number of arrays. This is QTY. And this is DIST. So let me come back here. You can see QTY and distance. Now I have to say this is Q minus 1. I'll change this one to number 3 and change this one to 0. Now you can see. And if I go back to maximum distance 1, can you see it automatically changes here? And if I type the quantity as 1, I don't want system to create number of objects. In that case, what I need to do is select and go to the creation, add equation here. If Q equal to 1, then 0, else 1, end if. 0 which means it will not create, 1 which means it will create. So you can see that result only outside the custom component. So let me just close this. Let me go to the custom component. You can see the values here. So if I make it the array of object 0, which means it will take the quantity. Let me type this one as 2. Can you see here? If I change this array to 1 and then type it 1000 and modify. So, but this is not user friendly because we cannot expect the user to remember 0 or 1. In that case, what I would do is I'll go to edit custom component dialog box and add a new variable, which is attribute. And then go to the properties, click edit values, type quantity and maximum. Okay. and the variable name is array. Apply. And let me just select the start, reduce the width, and this is the maximum, and this is the quantity. I don't need this one because I have replaced it with this. Let me delete it. Apply and cancel to close this one. So you can drag and rearrange it. Lock this one and save it so that you don't lose that alignment. And to refresh, you have to open the edit custom component and close it. Now, when I open the custom component, you can see here, let me change this distance 300 and number of, okay, it is reading the quantity here. So let me make it 7. And if I need maximum distance, let me make this one to 700. That's okay. There it is. And if you want to make it more user-friendly, what you can do is, let me go to the custom component dialog box. So when I select the quantity, I can disable this box by pressing the control key, select this and click the toggle field. And then I'll change this one to maximum and select the quantity by pressing the control key and then click so that it will disable this. Now, let me save and close it. Once again, I will open the edit custom component and close this one. And once I double click, you can see here, it will automatically enable the appropriate field. So let me make it 5 here. And the maximum is 800. Or maybe I can change this one to 400. And if I make the quantity as 1, then it will not create the number of objects. If you have any question about adding array of objects to the custom component, feel free to get in touch with me, and thank you for watching this video.